I'm not really interested in vampires and werewolves, and to this day, I have trouble articulating why. Perhaps it's because they've been so overdone, or maybe it's that they simply don't appeal to me. Either way, occasionally an exception comes along, and I find myself drawn to a piece of media that not only includes these creatures, but where they are the main fantastical element. Underworld, released in 2003 and directed by Len Wiseman, is one such exception. Set in the present day of the film's release, Underworld reveals there has been a war waging for centuries between vampires and werewolves that humans are completely oblivious to. Vampire Celine is a death dealer who thrives on killing werewolves, but when she discovers they are seeking a human named Michael, her investigation into his significance reveals the war is not what she had been led to believe. Instead of just making a few changes to the traditional vampires and werewolves, as most stories do as a way to differentiate between them, the filmmakers of Underworld took the time to create their own lore, and it paid off. The world building isn't spectacular, but you can tell actual thought went into it, and the result is a more grounded movie where supernatural creatures behave like people and not just life-devouring monsters. There is an actual plot, and the characters' motivations make sense within the rules the filmmakers established. That being said, the film knows exactly what it is, and it knows its audience didn't come for a deep, thought-provoking story. They came to be entertained. They came to watch Kate Beckinsale dressed in leather, dual-wielding pistols with silver bullets, while vampires and werewolves battle each other and leave carnage in their wake. And Underworld delivers exactly that. The action is fun and stylized, even though it does take itself too seriously at times, and the movie strikes a good balance between practical effects and CGI. I'm glad the filmmakers went that route and leaned into practical effects instead of relying solely on CGI, which a lot of movies began to do in the early 2000s. The blue-gray color scheme is perfect for a story about creatures of the night, and the score evokes a modern Gothic feel while playing into the more stylized aspects of the film. The few instances of hard rock music did crack my suspension of disbelief, as it was too reminiscent of the real world, but the score is absolutely excellent. Underworld also delivers on the gore. The film is a dark action thriller with elements of horror. It's violent, bloody, and gory, and it doesn't shy away from showing said violence, blood, and gore, which is why it's rated R, and rightly so. There are also a few unnecessary F-bombs that feel really, really forced, and while the sex scene was cut from the theatrical version, it is present in the unrated version, which I'll get to. Kate Beckinsale is great as Celine. Celine is beautiful, capable, smart, and allows herself to show vulnerability in her own way. She is completely believable as a hardened vampire death dealer, and while she is arrogant at times, she isn't condescending. Take note, modern Hollywood. This is how you write female characters of the warrior-fighter variety. Bill Nighy does a good job as Victor, but the rest of the cast are just okay. They do a passable job, but on occasion, some of them are really stretching their acting abilities, and not in a good way. Shane Brolly, who plays Craven, definitely tries, but his line delivery and facial expressions often had me chuckling at inappropriate moments. The beginning of the film can be a bit confusing in regards to who is on which side and what is actually happening, but once Celine begins to investigate the mystery surrounding Michael, the pieces click into place fairly quickly. The film has very tight, quick pacing that only slows down when absolutely necessary, and while that is what you want in this type of movie, the editing can be choppy at times. However, it is still better than the unrated version, which you should avoid if possible. The unrated version has lots of unnecessary establishing shots and superfluous conversations that grind the tight pacing to a complete halt, making the movie feel twice as long as it actually is. The final battle seems to go on forever due to lots of wandering through tunnels that all look the same. An infatuation subplot involving a supporting character is given additional scenes, but this subplot exists solely to help Celine's situation toward the end of the movie, and it should have been left at that, as you don't care about this character or the subplot's outcome, even with the extra screen time. Everything that was added in the unrated version was rightly removed from the theatrical version, with one exception. A scene between Michael and Celine was extended in the unrated version, and the cut lines of dialogue provided insight into Michael's character and why he and Celine would connect with each other. That is the only footage that should have been left in, and that one scene is not enough to warrant watching the inferior unrated version. Stick with the theatrical release, if you can find it. Underworld is an entertaining ride with a foundation of a more refined werewolf and vampire world, and it delivers exactly what audiences expect from this type of movie, plus a little more. If you like vampires and werewolves, regardless of their incarnation, you will probably enjoy Underworld. It definitely has its flaws, but it tried to do something new with very established archetypes, and from that perspective, it succeeded.